Welcome to the Author Spotlight podcast by Morpheus Publishing, an exciting new podcast hosted by Justine Martin, CEO and founder of Morpheus Publishing, a division of Justine Martin Corporation. Justine is an accomplished author, publisher, writing coach, and illustrator. She will guide you through the captivating journey of bringing your words to the world, crafting stories that matter, tales that inspire, and books that make a difference. In each episode, Justine and Morpheus Publishing will spotlight a new author who has published an amazing book in genres such as personal development, self-help, children's picture books, and memoirs. Through the help of Morpheus Publishing, these authors have turned their dreams into reality, and now, you get to hear their stories. Join us on this journey as we explore the world of writing, publishing, and the incredible stories that come to life through the Author Spotlight podcast.
Welcome back, listeners, to Morpheus Publishing's Author Spotlight. Today in the studio, I've got with me Catherine Bradshaw. How are you, Catherine?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm great. Now, Catherine, can you introduce yourself to the listeners in your own words? Who are you? Where are you from? And what have you written?
Okay, Catherine Bradshaw lives in Sydney, Ryde in Sydney. I'm 58 years old. I'm a teacher and a school chaplain at a school in southwest Sydney. So very interesting, big, diverse demographic. I've been scribbling away at things for the last sort of 25 years. Started as part of my role as a pastor in my church where I looked after all the little kiddies. And, that's all. Oh, gosh, I'm married. I have 3 grown-up children and a dog called Charlotte who I've had to lock out of the room. And I just hope she doesn't start howling or barking or scratching at the door.
That's okay. We've got Pansy running around here as well, so she might bark there as well.
Good.
Be prepared for a little bit of dog talk in the middle of all of this. So let's get into this episode. So the book that you've written is Epiphany and the Shopping Trolley. It's such a unique title. What's the story behind it?
So I have had most of my most profound life experiences in the supermarket with shopping trolleys. And the origin of this story, and Epiphany, of course, is just like that, bolt of light, kind of this like revelation. So I had my 3 small children in the back of my Toyota Camry going up to Top Ride shops when it was the old Top Ride with the most unbelievably ridiculous car park. How they ever thought anybody, do you remember? It was like this. It was like a giant slide. So how on earth you got your trolley down the slide to your car? And, of course, it was around about Christmas time, trying to get a parking spot. And this guy and I had this kind of titanic struggle for a parking spot with this woman that we saw carrying her trolley down the slope. And she lost complete control of the trolley, all the contents, it tipped everywhere. Now, I should have known better and got up and got out of my car and tried to help her. But we were just in this standoff for her spot. And, of course, the poor thing loaded a trolley, got it all in the car and then turned around and did that to us, that shaking of the head and I'm not leaving, so we all of that for nothing. And, my children saw a side of me that I wish they hadn't seen. And it just got probably heard a few words they shouldn't have heard. And then it really got me thinking about what was that all about? Like, for goodness sake, it's a parking spot. It's brought out the worst in you. And so I just went home and sort of tried to make some notes about what it had revealed in me as a person, and what is Christmas all about? And here we are, obsessed with parking spots and the god of retail. And anyway, so it all sort of started from there. So that's that story. And then over the years, the amount of things that have happened to me,
You've been writing for a while then, Catherine.
Yes, and I kind of I am an English teacher by, back in a previous life. And so, words and writing and poetry has been very dear to me. I suppose it's how I process and how I think. Yeah. And then when I was in my role as a minister in my church, I kind of was given these. By default, I got given the guest spot. I think they probably wanted a bit of stand-up comedy in the middle of the service just to share about life. And that's where it started. It got into a bit of tradition that, I'd write something for Mother's Day or Father's Day or Easter or Christmas or, different times. And I suppose I just wanted it to be real and, share your life. And don't try and pretend and just be real. And so that's the origin of all of them, are just me sitting down, trying to process what was that all about, what just happened, and looking for some kind of revelation in it, illumination, some kind of character development, some kind of way forward. So that's really what it's all about, the miraculous in the mundane. And I've actually found that the mundane is actually quite miraculous.
Yeah.
The fact that we wake up every morning and we're breathing is pretty miraculous.
We take things for granted, don't we?
We do.
Yeah. Okay, so this book blends humour, faith, and deeply personal moments in your life.
Mm-hmm.
How did you decide which stories to share and which ones to keep? Or did you put it all in?
I put it all in, or I suppose I filtered some of them. I would actually really, and that's my next kind of venture into writing, which I've started, is a story about menopausal women.
Yeah.
Because I think there's a lot to share. I think I talked about, I think in the book I talk about most sort of things, talk about breastfeeding and stretch marks and, incontinence and all sorts of topics. So I suppose I do draw a line when it comes to my own dignity, I think. Sharing, that there's some things I'm not willing to reveal. Maybe give me another 10 years and I'll tell it all.
Yeah, by that time we don't care anymore.
We don't care. I might not remember.
So many of your monologues turn the everyday into something profound. How do you spot the miraculous in the mundane?
I think it's keeping that sense of awe that we're alive and that's miraculous.
Yeah.
And look, I am a person of faith. I do have a belief in God. And I suppose it's that perspective. It's that sort of transcendent view of things that, you're looking out your window and you're seeing a sunset or you're seeing the wind in the trees and you're just thinking, this is so miraculous. And here I am just sitting here looking out a window. And I think it's that sense of awe that I'm alive, I'm in this present moment. Wow, this is pretty powerful. This is enough.
Yeah.
If it all ended now, that was enough. I suppose that's the perspective.
Are you loving the podcast so far? Imagine the possibilities if you had Justine Martin guiding you through your writing journey. Whether you're crafting your next big book or perfecting a personal project, Justine's expertise can elevate your work. Don't miss out on the chance to work with a seasoned pro, ready to take your writing to the next level. Message us today and let's make your writing dreams come true.
So you write openly about your Christian faith. Was it challenging to bring such a personal aspect of your life into the book?
Yes, in the sense that I never want to be preachy. I'm not that kind of person.
Yep.
And I feel that I love to hear people's experience. I think the best thing we can do as human beings, particularly with everything going on in the world, is to stay curious, to stay compassionate, and to keep talking to each other. Yeah. And I suppose my reservation in sharing these in a public space is that certain conversations, we're shutting down. And I think that's so sad if we do that. And I recognise that certain conversations have not been had well. But I think if we stay open and curious and we just share what is meaningful to us, you never know, it might help somebody press into what's meaningful for them and they might find their pathway forward. So it was a little bit, if you just asked that question about is there anything I'm not willing to share, isn't that funny? I'm probably much more comfortable talking about menopause than this because I don't want it heard as preachy or patronising or culturally imperialistic or anything like that, because it's not. It's just the rhythm of who I am, and I can't separate that from what I write or share.
So you faced the challenges of living with MS, which we mentioned, I don't think, at the beginning. How has that shaped your voice as a writer?
Profoundly.
In what way?
Profoundly. It changed everything. I think I was misdiagnosed, as you would understand this journey. Nobody takes you seriously. Yep. You're just stressed. You're just anxious.
So I live that are just coming on board. I too have MS, and Catherine was introduced through one of our other authors, Harry, who has MS as well. So we have this little community going.
And don't you think? Look at that! Something that was meant to be destructive for us has actually built this beautiful network of this honest, compassionate, creative network. And so for me, like I lived 5 years with no, you don't have anything like that, to like 5 years of absolute anxiety of what is going on, what's happening to me. My sister was diagnosed with MS 3 months before I was. When she had a scare the same time as I did 5 years before, and then when she was diagnosed, they went, oh, we better have another look at you. And so I was diagnosed. I have to tell you, I had such uncontrollable anxiety. I have absolute compassion for people who struggle with anxiety, because this was something I had no control over my body. I had no control over the shakes. I had no control over the nausea, all the deep breathing in the world. I was doing everything. And I remember just sitting there in the waiting room waiting to go into the neurologist. And I did. I prayed. I said, God, I think I could handle MS better than I could handle this anxiety. I don't want to live like this. I don't want to live shaking, fearful. And then I got in and sat down and got the news that I actually did have MS, and I can't describe it. It was like I just felt a blanket of peace around me. I write about it actually in the book, and this blanket of peace, and that to me was everything, because I thought,
when you know what it is, it's like instantly a switch goes, okay, now how can I deal with it? What can I do? What can I do? But when there's that uncertainty and when you don't know what's happening, you can feel it happening to your body, but they haven't got a label on it. As soon as you get that label, instantly it's like, okay, all right.
We've got something to work with now.
That's right.
I would also kind of say I felt like that piece was something miraculous. It was something outside of me, because goodness gracious, I tried everything I possibly could to kind of work myself into a state of peace. A bit ironic, but and then it was like, we've got something to work with.
And how?
And then I thought, sorry.
How long ago was that?
Gosh, coming up 10 years.
Yeah.
But it was kind of like that moment was, well, you've got today. And I felt like in some crazy way, and I don't mean this in a syrupy, sentimental way, when I say it was a bit of a gift, in that if we all lived like with a bit of a wake-up call, would we live with more intentionality? Would we live with more compassion? Would we live with more sense of absolute wonder of putting on the kettle and making a cup of coffee, or sitting and drinking a really good cup of coffee, or drinking a great glass of wine, and, that sort of richness of I'm alive.
Mine was time.
What can I contribute today? Sorry, what was yours?
Mine was time. So, and after, I was diagnosed with MS, I went through heart surgeries and then had 3 primary cancers.
Honestly, gosh.
Time was mine, because it's like, time is the most precious commodity, because
yes,
they can turn seawater into fresh water. They can make oxygen, but you can't make time. You can't remake that time. So, time is the most precious commodity. You can't buy it, sell it, reuse it, borrow it, or steal it. So be careful on what and who you spend it on. So that was a quote that I came up with. And that's how I live my life now. And everyone's like, oh, how do you get so much done? It's because I value time.
Yeah.
And we only have a grain of salt of time in the universe, not even that much, that we're
in the here and now.
That's right. So let's get back to your book, and the collaboration that you had with Pauline.
P-Zuffy.
Yeah. So Pauline,
she's been P-Zuffy for years. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you call her?
P-Zuffy. It's her rap name. It's a silly story that comes from the days when we were in kids' church together, and we just tried weird and wacky things every week for the kids.
How long have you known Pauline?
Gosh, yeah, we were only thinking about this the other day. Feels like forever. Over 15 years.
Okay.
Is it? We think, but as I said, we just feel like we've known each other forever. It's like, were we ever not in each other's lives in a sense?
So you were friends before the book. How did it come about with her doing all the beautiful illustrations in it?
Well, Pauline is, she's amazing. She's got a master's in teaching. She's got a master's in psychotherapy. She's an artist. She's won awards. She was diagnosed with breast cancer, probably very similar time frame to me.
Yep.
And I just remember, sitting around her kitchen table, and she had her drawing there, and like that was part of her therapy. And the two of us just really cried together and thought, is this how we thought it was going to pan out for us? And then we just thought, you know what, we've just got to take this thing and run with it. And what's something we can do that will keep us hoping and dreaming and living. And it was, we never, ever, ever expected anything to come of it, really. But she said, I feel like creatively I just need to use some words. Like, I need your words to kind of trigger my creativity. And the first one that we talked about was I'd just written it actually about my father and, his migration from Italy during the war and Mussolini. And that really captured her imagination. And it kind of just started from there.
Awesome. It's all very interesting, Catherine. So motherhood is a recurring thread in your stories. What do you hope other mothers take away from your book?
Oh, please be kind to yourselves.
Yeah.
I think motherhood is,
yeah,
it is, isn't it? And there isn't which I'm still on this journey, Justine, of self-forgiveness for the mistakes that you make, because you just never imagine that you could love anything as much when you have your children. And then there's that terrifying reality of, oh, gosh, I'm really going to screw this up and I'm going to screw them up and I'm going to have to be financing their psychotherapy for the rest of their lives, And
then you have grandchildren.
Does that help you kind of make amends?
Yes, grandchildren, totally different love again.
Yeah.
So when you have children, it's like exactly what you said. I'm going to stuff this up. There's going to be mistakes. I'm going to damage them for life. And then when you have grandchildren, it's like, oh, take two. It's I've already stuffed them up,
yes,
but I've learned it's so much better. There's no stress. You've been there. You've done that, and they come for a visit, and then you hand them back.
Hand them back.
Night's sleep. So
that's beautiful.
And the love is just so pure.
Just as rich.
I this morning went to my grandson's 100 days of school.
Oh, kindy? Oh.
100 days of school. Oh, prep. He's in prep because we're in Victoria. And he had so much joy and pride in his voice introducing me as his nana. This is my nana. And then I said to Tracy, I went, Nanny's, it's 50 years ago that I did my first 100 days of school, and he just looked at me going, oh, you're old, Nan.
Yes.
Yeah, there's nothing like grandchildren, and I've actually got the four of
That's
my
just wonderful. What a gift.
tonight.
Yeah.
So, you
Have
balance
fun.
humour with moments of deep reflection. Is the balance something you consciously strive for, or was that something that just came about?
Something that just came about. It was all part of the process.
Okay.
Maybe it's the teacher in me, but it's like, what have I learned? What can I learn? What haven't I learned? What am I resistant to learning? It's probably that, and there's an element of stream of consciousness in the sense that it's kind of just coming out of you. But then you are quite intentional in terms of the craft of it, like what images am I using? Do I want to have that recurrent theme? Sometimes I find that I'll start with an image and then it just weaves its way into the resolution of the monologue, because they very much were written to be spoken, many of them, to sort of be delivered in my strong Australian accent, which still horrifies me. When I hear myself back, I probably won't listen to this podcast, Justine. I'll probably be too horrified.
No one likes the sound of their own voice, Catherine, so it's fine.
Not
I
at all.
know the editor loved editing your book. I mean, there wasn't much that needed to be actually corrected.
Oh, that's lovely. Thank you.
She loved reading through it all, and when I said to her about the book, she goes, "Oh, I can't wait to do this one." So, and we can't wait to share it with the world either.
Have you ever thought about writing your own book? Join the Morpheus Publishing Writing Group program and turn your dream into reality. Contact Morpheus Publishing today and start your journey to becoming a published author.
So if readers could walk away with one core message from your work, what would it be?
Oh, gosh, that is such a good question. That is such a really good question. Do you know what came straight into my head?
What's that?
That dreadful song. It's not dreadful. My kids actually love it. But what came into my head was the phrase, "Don't stop believing." But I wasn't actually thinking of that song. But as soon as I had that thought in my head, it was like, oh, that's that song.
Is that Journey? Is that Journey's song, "Don't Stop Believing"?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And it's been kind of, done. But it's more, I think, keep the faith, keep believing, keep hoping, even in the midst of really, really difficult times. Just don't give up.
I would have said the key theme was hope through it.
Yeah.
So definitely. Because I have read it.
Thank you.
I've read it a couple of times actually. Was there a particular monologue that was the hardest to write?
Oh, I had to take a deep breath then, because the one about my mother.
Yeah, definitely.
That's still very
it's still very raw.
It's still really raw, and I think the one about my dad.
Yeah.
And trying to tell their stories with real compassion.
You did a good job with it.
But it was very, very therapeutic. And
it's very cathartic, isn't it, writing these down? Listeners, if you're out there now and you've always wanted to write a book, now's the time to do it. Leave a legacy, but it's also a cathartic process in writing about your past and leaving a legacy for future generations, not only your own family but others as well, because it becomes a part of history. I
think honouring them. And I think, as the question about parenting, when you realise, parenting's very humbling, and we go, children have to go through a phase where they're critical of their parents. But the day comes when you suddenly look back and you think, oh, my goodness, they tried. They tried the best they could with the equipment that they had, however broken it was. And I feel like getting to that place is for me, it was a very healing.
And the finances that they had as well.
Absolutely.
Totally different times to nowadays.
Yep.
Were there any stories that made you laugh out loud while you were writing them?
Oh, the one about running into the ex-boyfriend in the supermarket. Like, at the time, it was the most humiliating moment of my life. And it's when I had the baby, you know, that we'd run out of nappies. And so I raced up to I think it was Macquarie Centre at that time, and oh God, good grief, there he was in the aisle, and the kids were rolling dog food cans down the aisle, and I thought, I'm not going to escape. And then I had the baby, and then I looked so terrible. I can't even begin to describe how bad I looked.
I'm sure you
I was in my husband's oversized shirt. I'm sure I had breast milk all over it, and I had vomit on my shoulder and in my hair. And there he was. And I wanted to say, look what you missed out on. On this.
Did he see you? Did he recognise you?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. 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 With utter horror.
Yeah.
Utter horror. And oh, look. And then I was so gutted, and then I had put the girls in the trolley with a packet of tiny teddies, survival, you know, nursing the baby, pushing the trolley. And then I just was at the checkout looking at all those magazines about what they think about what women should look like, you know, 3 minutes after birth. And then I just looked at these little children munching on their tiny teddies, and I thought, this is the best thing ever.
Yeah.
Mate, you've missed out. You missed out.
Yeah, that's
on
right.
me.
Yeah. And if you're listening to this, whoever you are, just kidding.
Oh, no. Oh, gosh, wouldn't that just be more? That would really be too mortifying for words.
Did anything unexpected happen during the publishing process? Does anything unexpected happen? Not on our end, it hasn't. But what about you? The reality of it?
The other, yeah. Oh, I think unexpectedly was, I mean, I think it's everybody's, you know, I did have a moment of feeling, oh, gosh, these have been contained within a very safe place. And I did have that moment of utter terror of I'll be misunderstood, or, you know, everyone's going to hate it, and then they'll hate me. And, you know, I think that was unexpected, was that honestly all of a sudden going, oh, boy, I'm going to be exposed. But then I thought, I just hope someone gets some encouragement.
Oh, I'm sure they will. And
that's
definitely good enough to publish. So let's put those thoughts out of your head, because it is under the publishing process at the moment. I'm expecting a copy today. So all right. My next question to you, do you have any plans for another book or creative project? Now, you did mention the menopause book.
I do. That's been a work in progress for a couple of years. I have a very, very dear group of female friends, the sisterhood, who I value and cherish. And one of the monologues I've written I wrote during COVID about curveballs. Life hits you in the face, and all of us have been hit in the face by various curveballs, and we've helped each other up out of the dirt. And so it's kind of like a fictionalized, very fictionalized kind of version of our lives, and it traces it from, like, the stories are of 5 women over 5 continents with incontinence.
There's the title.
Well, it's going to be called The Incontinence, and the play of words is, of course, you know, on continents.
Yes.
How
far away are you from finishing that, Catherine?
Oh, well, I'm in the middle of, as I think I've chatted to you about this in private, about I'm trying to finish my master's at the moment, my master's of theology, and I've got about 4,000 words left, which is probably, I have such, how should I say this? Look, I have got intellectual constipation when it comes to this last 4,000 words. I'm so stuck. I need some kind of academic Movacol to get me going. But
we'll have a chat for this. As a writing coach, I can definitely help you with that last 4,000 words because I know what's going on there.
It's that perfectionism loop. And I think as a teacher, I'm writing and marking it at the same time instead of just sitting down and letting it go. So once that's out of the way, I really want to devote the Christmas holidays to just having a good crack at it and having a good laugh and a good cry and seeing if I can get a story out that – sorry?
I can't wait. To read it. Yeah, definitely. But we will have a chat outside of this podcast on
absolutely. So there you go.
There. How do you see your writing evolving in the future? I mean, we've spoken that, you've got your next book ideas of it. Do you think that you'll do even more after that?
I would love to tell the story of an uncle of mine that survived Changi.
Wow.
And he was like a formative figure in my life. And we found out something about him, that we were never allowed to talk about the war with him. He'd spend Easter and Christmas with us. And, he really suffered in silence, but he was a man of great faith and just a wonderful man. And I really would like to explore his story. It will not be fact, but there was a discovery made that we always thought that he was a bachelor. He looked a bit like Fred Astaire, and we thought he was a bachelor. And then we found out that before the war he had been married. And there's a story there.
Yeah. Well, I can't wait to read that one too. Yeah. And it's funny how when you'll be working on one project, another project will come to mind and jot that down and into the future. And hopefully Morpheus gets the honour of publishing these stories for you. What advice would you give to someone who feels they have a story but isn't sure how to start telling it?
Just sit down and write what comes to mind.
Yeah.
And just write and look, I love just having a notebook with different coloured pens. I do love. I've always loved. As a little kid, I loved stationery. I love pens, and I think just sitting down and just doodling away and having a journal, and then you can sit down at the computer if you want to start sort of refining and whatever. But for me, my process is very much paper, pen. But if you're someone that likes to online journal or online write, just sit down and just start exploring. And I sometimes think like the words sometimes take on a life of their own.
Yeah, they definitely do.
And just have a go, because I feel everyone has a voice. We all have been given a voice, and it pains me to think that there's people in the world whose voices were not heard, or people feel that they've lost their voice. Yeah. And maybe this is an opportunity for them to unlock that voice.
Yeah, most definitely. Definitely. And everyone's got a story.
Indeed.
So, Catherine, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the Author Spotlight today. Is there anything you want to mention? Have we covered everything?
I think we have. And just thank you very much, Justine. And thank you for, I don't know, believing in me and
you're welcome.
Joining me on this journey.
You're welcome. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I can't wait. So you actually haven't had your book launch yet when we've been filming this, but I can't wait to have your book launch in another couple of weeks' time. It's going to be a great day. Now, your book will be available on all online bookstores, Amazon, Booktopia, everywhere that we can possibly get it, as well as you'll be able to purchase it through Morpheus Publishing as well under your author page. So if you look for Catherine's page on Morpheus Publishing, you'll be able to get it there. So any final words?
No, but I hope that we're just going to have a good laugh and maybe a cry.
I'm sure we will, and at the launch we'll have a box of tissues.
That's right.
I'm sure there'll be a couple there that will have a little bit of a tear in their eye. So again, thanks for joining me today, and everyone else who's out there, if you are thinking about writing your own book, get in contact with Morpheus and we can definitely help.
Fantastic. Thanks.
Thank you for tuning in to the Author Spotlight podcast by Morpheus Publishing. We hope you enjoyed today's episode and found inspiration for your own writing journey. Don't forget to follow and subscribe to our podcast for more exciting content and author insights. Stay connected with us on social media at Morpheus Publishing and visit our website at www.morpheuspublishing.com.au to discover how we can help you bring your book dreams to life. Remember, don't wait. Take the first step now and turn your dreams into reality. See you next time.